This is going to be on a table or board or whatever you have. Start with some black at the top, then add some blue without even washing your brush out. Continue to add more and more blue, blending it into the black as you go. Then you'll switch to white without washing your brush out. You'll blend this white into the wet blue as you go. Then let that dry for a few minutes and then add some blue black, kind of in a scribbly, smudgy, brushy looking style. You can tweak it however you want to make it look as much like trees as you prefer. And then when you've got that the way that you like it, you can go to the snow, and you're going to use the white to kind of cover up the bottom of the trees where it was messy. This is after the trees have dried. I put a little bit of blue in there to make it look like kind of uneven snow, but it's very subtle. Then I traced a circle and painted it in with white paint. And then I began the process of adding trees close up in the foreground. I've done this before 2 different times, 2 different videos that you can find on my channel of this project, but this time I decided to go as crazy as I could with the trees in the foreground. And so the idea here is that I'm just going to keep adding different size lines of black until I have sort of a forest of trees. Not 3, not 4, maybe not even 10, but just as many trees as I can add. I did switch brushes a couple of times so that I would have a very skinny brush, and I just kept adding them. Some of them cross other ones, so they're not just all straight up and down. I got this project idea from artistkula.com. She is a wonderful art teacher, has her own website, and has lots and lots of lesson plans for art teachers for all ages. So go check out her website, artistkula.com. Then I started adding the limbs. One of the things that I wanted to be careful about as I was adding these limbs is not to be too repetitive. Like, I didn't want to do the exact same thing every time I put a limb down. I tried to make them go in different directions. I've tried to make them overlap all the other trees there. I tried to make them overlap the moon. Just wanted to keep adding limbs and adding limbs, because in the forest, they're not always systematic. The tree limbs grow whichever direction they want to, and they're usually really, really thick. So I just kept adding more and more limbs as randomly as I could, here and there and all over the place. You want to keep your paint pretty thin. You don't want to water it down or anything, and you obviously want to cover it up if there's like little holes like you can see the other color through. But you don't want to pile the paint on there too thick, because then it takes too long to dry, and then you end up smearing it or doing something weird with it with your hand. Also, when I painted the moon, I painted in an area kind of got out of line, and the moon wasn't nice and smooth and round like I wanted it to be. So the tree, one of those trees there, covers the moon. So you can fix a lot of problems that you have with the next layer that you paint onto it. And keep in mind that this has been several different layers, or at least a couple of different layers. The sky, the trees, the snow, and then the forest, all painted on top of each other. continue trying to keep it as random as you can. Now, in the end here, I did not get footage of me putting the shadows in, but basically what I did was I watered down some black paint. I might have made a little gray paint by mixing a little black and white together, but I watered it down so it'd be transparent. And then I just went to the bottom of each tree and I swiped down with that paint away from the moon. The moon is sort of the vanishing point, if you will, of each shadow. And so I just kind of looked at where the moon was and went in the opposite direction from the bottom of each tree on the ground. And this gives the appearance of a nocturnal landscape as described on artiscula.com. And then I began the process of peeling the tape off. When you peel the tape off, peel it off very carefully. Even if you have painter's tape, it will still tear the drawing paper. So you've got to just be real careful as you're peeling that off. Try and keep it down low, and I find that if you keep the tape down low as you peel, it'll peel less paper off. And you also want to peel away from the painting. That way if it tears the paint or whatever, it won't tear into your painting. And then there you have it. This is my nocturnal landscape. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Go make some art.